No puppy.
No puppy, no Morbin. We are live on the SideQuest live.
This is a Morb free show.
A Morb free show. Oh, it's a great show. We got a full cast here. I'm Dolly Domofsky. This guy right here making his triumphant return. The Catman, Mr. Morbin himself, the Joker, the one and only Sam Dixon.
That's the best intro I've gotten today.
Today.
Damn. This guy's gotten multiple introductions today.
I've always considered us more of a chinchilla of a podcasting instead of like a dog. Adorably cute but very high maintenance.
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah,
it requires constant dust baths. It makes sense.
This point. There we go. Taylor Bliss.
Me? That's me.
That's me. That's you.
Wow.
Sam.
JJ Holder.
It is.
And coming down the aisle, celebrating their first time together as man and wife, Zach, OK Quest, and Quest.
Me.
How you guys doing? How's everybody doing? It is June.
It is June.
It's a
Morbin
June.
Yeah.
season.
Oh no, it's been June for 3 days.
Already.
Well,
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No,
I'll take it back.
we are almost halfway through 2022.
JJ, if you don't shut up right now, I'm gonna end you.
Stronger people have
technically
tried.
are.
2022, everything's getting delayed, but kind of.
But not the
Maybe.
year itself.
Speaking of 2022,
Speaking of 2022, we got
games that are no longer launching in it.
Yes, there is a lot we're gonna be talking about. We mentioned before last week that we had sort of our annual E3 predictions, which only these two and myself predicted.
It hurts.
Yeah, really batting 1,000 with the predictions so far.
Yeah, we are 0-0 and the big zero right here. We haven't.
Listen, that's only because we've only had one major show for the summer so far. We got a lot of news to come.
We got a lot of news to come, a lot of news to cover. We're gonna start with that show and just kind of go over those headlines fairly quickly. I'm just gonna go to the give me a second. I'll go to the main page of sidequesting.com. It is a website. Of course, we're talking about the Sony State of Play, which arrived yesterday.
And what a state it is!
What a state it is. First and foremost, your overall.
It was a pretty good show.
Their show is good. The 2022 in general, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean,
Hey, there's nothing like dedicating a solid few minutes on a previous PlayStation exclusive, which is now coming to PC on the Sony PlayStation State of Play.
well, you know what? And so I'm gonna steal this from Jeff Grubb, who this isn't a Jeff Grubb show, so I'm not gonna release his news. But he made a good point, which was that they stated how they plan to do was like 300 million on PC this year, which I didn't know about because I don't actually work in the games industry like Jeff Grubb does.
Like Jeff Grubb used to.
Yeah. No,
he probably still does.
Rest in peace, Jeff.
Hopefully
Rest in
not.
peace.
He's a homeless, jobless bum now.
But when you consider that, like, how else were they going to accomplish it in this year without Spider-Man? Honestly,
Yep.
I mean, God of War, they already knew the numbers of, and it won't do the units and push the numbers that Spider-Man will. So he had a very good point that.
Oh, it's very true. Very true.
Like, how else could they accomplish it other than putting Spider-Man there?
And
also, like,
if you put Bloodborne on PC, it's gonna sell a lot.
Dude, I feel like at this point, you watch. I mean, FromSoft isn't the holding point, right? Because FromSoft, I mean, they just dropped Elden Ring. They're clearly happy to put that shit on PC and just port it like they do with the other Dark Souls games. So the only people really holding it back at this point has got to be Sony Entertainment.
No, the actual issue, just to be a nerd, is everything in that game is tied to it being 30 frames per second.
30 FPS, yeah. So there's
make it 60,
huge logistical, there's huge logistical issues from a technical standpoint about moving it to 60, and really why bother bringing it to PC if you're going to still lock it at 30. So like if they bring it to PC and still keep it locked at 30, like everybody will just be like, this sucks. Why even bother? But anyway, the whole point was that Spider-Man Remastered is coming to PC. And that is going to do huge numbers. It's gonna, that thing is gonna sell.
August
It's gonna be
12th.
nuts.
August 12th, and then Miles Morales is arriving in the fall on PC. Which it's weirdly enough, it is like a major first party release for Sony because it's gonna sell. You're right, Taylor. You hit on it. They're gonna make tons of money on this. I mean, you're excited to play it on your Steam Deck. I can already tell that.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, like, but honestly, I'm interested to see how it plays on Steam Deck. You know, it's one of those games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Again, another thing Gruff said was, or it was either that or Minotti, who was like, "Yeah, put McGuire's face on it."
Yes.
On it. But you know, it's such a cinematic experience that, like, if I can't hit 60 on it, 60 FPS, I don't know how much it, you know, at least Steam Deck has the 40 hertz trick, 40 hertz, 40 FPS, kind of sync that up, which might make it tolerable. But if this is the kind of game that I want to play at 60 FPS. I feel personally.
It's like with these releases, despite them being the same games, they're essentially completely different games because you get to play them at higher frame rates, higher resolution, and also there's no telling if it's going to have ray tracing or all these other interesting things. So even if you've played the game before, like me, I played the first Spider-Man game. Do I want to play this on PC? Yes. Am I going to? Yes. Like, it's just going to be cool to play it at 60 frames a second at 1440p. Like, it's going to be a next level experience, which is what I want.
Like, the PS5 version is genuinely stunning.
Yeah.
So it's like just that on PC, like where you're just going to be able to, hey, it's even more stunning. Let's go.
So we don't necessarily know if and or who is doing the port to PC, right?
No, it's a new studio they got. I think Nixis is the name of them.
Well, it looks like it says Nixie's software or something.
Okay.
I wrote it.
Nixis, right here.
Nixis, yeah.
Nixis, yeah.
I didn't. Yeah. As you can tell, I'm an avid reader of the site.
Yeah.
And what the reason where I'm going with this is, you know, the one thing that we really have to look forward to. It's like the first time I've actually heard audio properly come through on one of these embedded videos. No, it was a welcome change because previously audio never came through. But
these guys have worked on Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider. They've worked on like all those Eidos games, so it's going to be a pretty solid PC.
So where I was really going with it is that, you know, you look at the iterations of the PC ports that the previous first party Sony games have gone, because it really started with Horizon, if I'm remembering properly.
Yeah,
the Horizon port was rough. Frame rate issues, crashing issues. Some of those still persist. Optimization issues. God of War, it looks like, is better. But you know, optimization could still be improved. So
Days
to hear about
Gone
it
is really good, by the way.
right, and so like they've gotten better progressively. So to hear that a studio, and that's why I was asking about which studio was doing it. So to hear that one that has previously already done successful PC ports gives me a lot of hope and make me more interested than before.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Yeah, I agree, and like we said, it's going to be.
And the overlooked part of that also is that the Miles Morales game is coming as well.
Yes,
it never comes. It never makes it with the other news stories, but that's the other part of it.
I mean,
I really hope we get to a point where they release these games like months apart instead of years apart, like
Mhm.
6 months apart. Like I hope we get to that point.
I really, really hope we get Gran Turismo on PC at some point.
Oh, that's definitely gonna. Yeah,
I
that'll make it
really,
there.
really want Gran Turismo on PC, and it will sell really well if Forza Horizon 5 on Steam has any say
Yep.
of how.
So, do we think that at this point this is a Pandora's box situation where the game, first party games came out on PC, and now that they've seen how well that they can and will sell on PC, they can't stop that train because, like, somebody from high level in Sony is like, why would we not release another game on PC? Because did you not see what happened here?
I guess the question is, when are we going to get like a first party game that's not like an American Studios game? Like, because that really seems to be where the decision, like all of these have been like the American side of.
Well, name what,
Yeah.
but like,
But,
what's an
but, like,
example?
Because like Gran Turismo is
Okay.
a Japanese one. If Gran Turismo comes, then it's going to prove.
But
that,
name me another non Gran Turismo game first party that.
Last Guardian, yeah, like
Okay, Last Guardian would actually do numbers on PC.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, so it'll be just interesting to see if it's the Japanese business model that's being a pain in the ass, or if it's
on the other hand, and I don't mean to throw any shade, but a lot of the Japanese studios are literally the absolute worst at porting to PC. So very bad. I cannot stand it, man.
Yeah.
Depressing. It's depressing sometimes. Yeah.
It's so bad.
You know what studio is actually not bad at porting their stuff to PC, but does it anyways? Capcom, because they've got Resident Evil 4 Remake coming to.
I mean, they've ported Resident Evil 4 to every other console at this point, so like they should have plenty of experience.
Yeah. I think this game is gonna have a rough time because Resident Evil 4 is pretty much like a perfect game.
It's almost like this Wizard of Oz situation where it's like it's one of
those things that should not have been remade.
Yeah.
Like, well, no, they have to make it so different that it's a different experience for it to be anything special, and that alone is going to turn off a lot of people because they're not going to have this game have tank controls for one. Yeah. So that essential part of the game is gone. That's a huge part of why that game is so good in its original state. So it's going to be interesting to see what they add to it to like lean into a more action oriented side or something. I don't know.
Can't wait to see how they fuck up everyone's favorite inventory system.
Oh yeah.
When this video first started, I thought, oh, is that the Last of Us remake or Abandoned? Abandoned, sorry.
It's funny too because like this has PSVR 2 integration, doesn't it? So it's like they just put out Resident Evil 4 on VR, and now they're going to be putting out another Resident Evil 4 on VR.
A completely different version.
And the Resident Evil 4 that's out now has like brand new assets all over the place in it too. So it's like, holy shit.
The only thing I think they might be adding would be the Ada Wong story that got cut from the original game. Like clearly they are because she's there. And it could be like a Resident Evil 2 thing where it's like you have 2 campaigns, shorten it a bit. Because the game is perfect, but you could also cut some fat too.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see the route they take because they learned from 3 being way too short.
Yeah.
They learned from 2, so this is going to be a very cool juggling act to see what they commit to.
It has the potential of being like the Resident Evil 1 remake where they took a game that in Resident Evil, the original Resident Evil 1 in the state that it was in was genuinely sort of perfect for what it was, even though it was campy and weird. Great game. And they kind of just took that game and upped everything times 1,000 and added in cut things and made it more serious, which really helped the original Resident Evil in the long run. And I think Resident Evil 4 is going to I'll be interested to see what some of the campy stuff turns into in Resident Evil 4. So,
yeah, they also made it a lot darker just from that trailer,
yeah.
which I'm not really interested in because the game
That
isn't
was
really a
cool.
dark
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, that
Like,
was cool about Resident Evil 4 is that a lot of it took place during the daytime, which was not a Resident Evil trope at all ever. So
Capcom was all over this event because they also showed off Street Fighter 6 with that snazzy new logo. Look at that.
I hate that logo.
it's a terrible logo. If we're gonna
Look
talk
at that.
if we're gonna go into the aesthetics like we were in the Discord, it wasn't the character models, it's that fucking logo. Fucking
Due to release in 2023 for everything again, also coming to Xbox and PC as well.
That's a big thing.
Yeah.
By the way, it coming to Xbox and PC day of, that's huge. It's been
no longer gated.
held back. Yeah.
No longer gated. When we are going to really feel this is when Evo time comes around. It's like, all right, what consoles are going to be on stage? Is it going to be PS5s? Like, what are people actually going to play this on when it comes to competitive side? You know, maybe it's going to be 2 Steam Decks on stage, and people, it's going to be hooked up
100%.
LAN. 100% LAN. Yeah, that makes sense.
I think everyone, like, people don't care really much about the mechanics or about, like, what people are more concerned right now. They just want to know what the netcode is. Like, is it going to be rollback? Because I mean, like,
it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough for them to launch without, like, the moment that it comes out that they're launching without rollback. And if you want to be honest, I see Capcom still going through this and not putting rollback in. That just feels like a very Capcom thing to do.
Well,
and people are just going to, like, let out. But here's the problem, though. What's going to happen is that people are going to let out a collective, aggravated sigh and groan, and then still buy it and play it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the Street Fighter way.
Yeah, it's gonna. I think they learned their lesson with Street Fighter V with the online being trash. But I mean, I hope, fingers crossed, that it's gonna have rollback. It's gonna have a good, like, dedicated thing.
It's funny because of how hard they're leaning into the competitive stuff in this game, straight up to having like commentary.
The announcers,
having commentary and the thing. Like, clearly they are gearing this towards a fucking, like, the community, the fighting game, everything.
Right.
So you would think that would mean they understand now, and they saw them lose control of the fighting game community with 5, and seeing all these other games pick up steam and momentum, and maybe they learned something. You would hope they learned something. I want to know that they learned something, but them not saying it during an announcement, like, you would think that would be something they would, like, want to lead with a little bit, like, rollback, baby. But
yeah, maybe. I mean, this is also like a teaser trailer.
This is the second trailer. They've already teased it. This isn't like I was going to go further than that. I mean, like, it's past a teaser because they showed actual gameplay. Yeah.
But, you know, your net code isn't exactly. I mean, yes, in a way, it is a hype builder compared to other things, but it's also still a technical aspect of it. It's tough, especially when you're on, like, a PlayStation State of Play, to be like, all right, it's time to talk netcode. I don't know. I see not including it here.
But at the same time, they're showing, like, actual announcers for fighting game community stuff, like saying, and you can listen to these guys that you all know who these guys are, right? No, like, yeah, I do, but.
Yeah, I mean, Zach parsing through frame by frame, looking at.
Well, no. So the thing is right. If they said with rollback netcode, that would have been a huge pop for them. People would have been going crazy on Twitter because people have been banned from Street Fighter tournaments for saying the netcode in Street Fighter V is shit. And an announcer who's a normal who does esports commentary got banned from being a part of the Capcom Pro Tour because he said it was shit. Like, it would have been huge for them to be like, yo, like, it's gonna be good. Like, but they're just doing a Capcom thing.
One of my favorite commentators too. It's such a shame.
Yeah. Anyways, it's whatever. I think besides that, I think all the changes are cool. The simple control scheme is cool. It's not going to change anything. People who use that control scheme are still going to get their ass whooped. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's still good that it's there, so a normal person can like rent the game or whatever and play and have.
It reminds me of the Street Fighter 4 3D.
I was just about to say it's like
that
3DS thing where it had the touch
controls
on the bottom. Yeah, I like that.
Anyway, characters design looks cool. The paint aspect looks cool.
Yeah.
Overall, aesthetically, looking interesting.
It looks
sort
like
of a hub mode, adventure mode.
It looks kind of like shit in like stills, but like when it's in
it
action,
does.
like this paint stuff looks cool as hell.
Yeah.
But yeah, there you go. Coming out 2023.
I thought my dog saw a cat, start going crazy.
Oh, so I should put the Stray video. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, all right. Listen, I am excited that Stray's coming out on PC day one, though.
Looks cool.
It's coming out on the PlayStation Plus day one as well.
Yes, it is.
Premium and whatever, Excelsior and Extreme, whatever. PlayStation Plus Extreme would be
PlayStation Excelsior.
A PlayStation Excelsior. But the one game that Sony ended their show on,
they chose right.
Oh.
They chose right, baby. Final Fantasy 16 with that age restriction. I love it. So let me
that shit was too hot.
Shiva was on screen for 2 seconds.
Exactly. People are already thirsting. Sam, come on, tell me. I know you are.
Hey, so I think I'm at the point now that somebody needs to explain Final Fantasy to me. I've been around for, I want to say, the majority of them, and I think I fell off.
All right, so here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna play the entire story of Final Fantasy 14, and then you were officially prepped to play Final Fantasy 16.
You have to play Final Fantasy 14. You have to play Vagrant Story. You have to play Final Fantasy Tactics and Final Fantasy 12.
So all of the Ivolus Final Fantasies is what you're saying.
Yeah,
great.
Because they're all part of the same thing.
Is this game a fighting game? Because that's what's on.
Yo, so now. So and actually,
is this game a turn-based game?
So if it actually fucked me up at first.
Kingdom Hearts, what's going on?
So I was making dinner when this part came on, and I kept looking back and forth, and then I saw the two HP bars side by side, and I was like, wait, what the fuck is this? Is it? I was like, it looks like it should be Final Fantasy 16, but I didn't believe it.
16 Duodecum 13.
Yeah, exactly. I had flashbacks, man.
I refuse to believe that there was a higher up at Square Enix that watched that video and went, I understand everything that's going on here.
Yeah, because...
What is going on in that trailer, man? I get those are the summons. I get it. I know
they're not summons.
They're not summons anymore, dog.
So the story is there's these nations and they have these strong people who are able to attune to these icons, and they're basically used as weapons of mass destruction to go into war. Hey, you can summon Ifrit, you go to the battlefield and just kill everyone. That's what this is. It's about a political struggle between those dudes, basically. You play the main guy. His name's Cliff. He's the second bringer of Ifrit. So the last guy died, and he's taking on the spirit. But yeah, no, it's really cool. It's Final Fantasy 14, but condensed into a game made by the Devil May Cry 5 guy. So
sick. Great.
Yeah, I don't know. Everything about it looks kind of sick. We're in the political strife of Final Fantasy 12. We've got this part gameplay mechanics of Devil May Cry 5. I don't know.
We got the writer of the best Final Fantasy 14 expansion. We got the art designer from Vagrant Story and Final Fantasy Tactics. We got the producer from Final Fantasy 14. We got the music guy from Final Fantasy 14. We got all the heavy hitters here.
It is one of those things. I was just everybody's here. Are you coming along or not? It's
That's so exciting for Final Fantasy fans, and I can't wait to be sitting just as still and as quiet when we talk about this game when it comes out, and you all love it, and I still don't get it.
Dude, you should just buy what? There's nothing to get. You just buy it and play it, dog.
But I get that. Kingdom Hearts has shown me that I can't trust anything with a Square Enix title to be enjoyable just because. I bought Kingdom Hearts just because I like Disney and I liked the first two Kingdom Hearts because I was like, PlayStation 2 was cool for all of us, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then I got 3 and I was like, what the fuck is this? It's so bad. I feel like I'm playing menuing the game.
You didn't play the other games, bro. You gotta play the other ones.
Great.
Did you listen? There are 5-hour YouTube videos that would have perfectly prepared you for Kingdom Hearts 3, and you chose not to watch them.
I watched the story stuff. It's not the story stuff. It's the gameplay. I will not be caught by another Square Enix gameplay trap of thinking it looks interesting and then playing it. Because I played the last mainline Final Fantasy game.
Yeah, and that one's bad.
With the emo teenagers in the car. And I still don't understand if I know how to do the combat in that game correctly.
So the thing is,
I hate played it. I will not do that with another Final Fantasy.
I hate played it.
I own Final Fantasy 7 Remastered free in like 2 different places, and I download it and I go, I would love to try that, and then it gets deleted months later when I need that space on the hard drive. So
my God.
I think I'm off the Final Fantasy train.
No, it's him. I think it's important that Sam is here to be the foil.
Yeah,
I think
to Zach and I.
It looks sick,
I
but
think
like
if
this
you're
gameplay, this gameplay is like 5 steps away from what I think like fake medieval like style like fantasy gameplay looks like in movies. Like when they present it, it's like, oh look, it's this high elf, magic bullshit that's going on. What do those health bars mean? They don't make, none of this makes any sense.
We're literally watching the first gameplay trailer and we're seeing them at 4 seconds at a time, man. What do you think? Nobody knows what that means.
The first thing that makes sense to me. I get that they're announcing who's about to show up on screen.
Hey, listen, I think that since you've been burned by Square Enix, you've been burned not by Square Enix, by Tetsuya Nomura. You've been burned by him. I think you should
specifically by him. Yeah,
I think you should embrace Yoshi P and his team.
What's that Stranger in Paradise thing? What is that?
That's a Tetsuya Nomura game.
It really is.
Is that yet another game? It doesn't matter.
I'm just saying the best Final Fantasy games have been made by Yoshi P, and it's Final Fantasy 14 and this, obviously.
Can't wait to be gaslit into playing it. I'm very excited.
If you hang around in the side questing Discord, you can count on it.
Very excited for next holiday season.
Why do you think I created a Final Fantasy 14 account?
Yeah, that I promptly muted.
Me too, actually. Yeah.
Listen, it hasn't been posted in quite a while.
I wouldn't know.
True.
I'd have no idea of knowing how that.
So that's coming out next.
Post was May 14th.
That's coming out next
My
summer.
birthday.
Oh, there you go. But coming out sometime between now and then is the hotness that we've all been looking forward to: Sonic Xeno Frontier Chronicles.
So I actually missed this. This I missed completely during the state of play.
Go, Taylor.
It wasn't
in the state of play.
Oh, it wasn't.
No.
They're dedicating a month to showing off this game.
IGN has committed to Sonic Frontiers inexplicably.
Oh my God! Yo, hold up. Go back to the ending of that last scene for me, please.
Oh, of course. We can't wait.
Keep panning.
Yeah, you see it.
What the fuck is that shit in the back there, dog?
Have you not played
those are
rails?
rails.
You know what those are. Those are the rails he grinds on. Just floating, just free balling out there in the universe.
Those perfectly natural and organic rails that just form in the middle of cliff sides,
Oh no.
Dude, no, so I did a deep dive of research on this game today at work because I was just really bored. Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis, that new engine update they released last year for that game, that dev team, half of them got pulled away from that game to work on this. So that is why the game looks the way it does. It looks exactly
no.
like Phantasy Star 2, New Genesis. This is the same like field area that game has too. It's like an exact asset pull from that other game. And then they just put
This
like,
is-
hey, here's some rails. Like that's what's happening.
So this is one of those things where like you know how on one hand 6 months ago we applaud Yoshi P for taking Final Fantasy 14 assets and being like, all right, who else wants to use these assets? You know, be a shame for them to get used again or to not get used again, right?
Babylon's Fall, you can have them.
This is the bad side of that idea.
We just
This is when
wasted
it-
like a minute killing balloons.
Yeah.
Oh, there's
man.
more balloons. By the way, take a look at. Well, okay, watch. I want to see when he goes in. Yeah, good luck trying to pick those rings up. Look when he goes into the sky. How horribly laid out the grass is. It's in chunks. Let me rewind back here.
Look
Look at the grass. They are just gridded out. It's just like a grid of weeds, which looks like my lawn. Look at that. Taylor, does that not
Oh
look
my
like
God,
your
it's
lawn? Oh, it's
Actually,
so
yeah, it
long.
does because I don't fertilize. So
So
I don't-
here's
just
the
like-
thing.
Sonic isn't a combat game, dog.
It's not a combat game, it's a movement game, and they don't have a movement thing at all. Like they cap his speed. They cap his speed, and when he hits slopes, he slows down. I'm not even like making it up. Like he slows down when you go in slopes. And that's like the inherent gameplay loop of Sonic is like you go down slopes and you go faster.
Yeah. They took the wrong because like the 16-bit Sonic games are kind of about exploring a little bit because they're multi-tiered levels and you can
Yeah, but the exploring is about going fast to get places.
But that's it. Like so it's like, oh, people like to explore, so we'll do this. It's like, no, you took the wrong message from every aspect of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Dude, like I hate Sonic. Like I'll say that I hate every Sonic game. I do not.
He's kicking very fast to do damage.
But the thing, like I love open world games, right? If they made this game focused around the mechanics of Sonic, making the world fun to explore as Sonic, slows down, by the way.
Yeah.
And if they would have made it fun to just be like rolling around at the speed of sound, going fast in this huge ass world, it'd be fun. It would be something that I would enjoy as a non-Sonic fan. But this is like, only the people who really like Sonic are gonna like this game again, which is not
raining. Why is it raining?
Because
the rain
games
again.
have rain.
Open world, man.
Again, like I'm okay with it being like rainy in a zone. It's just like I don't know. It doesn't feel
like,
so here's the disconnect
There's
for
no
me.
purpose to it.
Exactly. So Sonic levels are very purposeful. That's how they were always designed. That is the hallmark of when the levels are good, is when they have extreme purpose. And you can accomplish that with certain open world level design, but it requires way more care than what I'm seeing.
Yeah, like
this.
I brought up in the Discord how like open world games kind of strayed away at some point by making things realistic. Like this is big and realistic, and that's what makes it fun, is because it's huge and real. It's so massive. Whoa. But like we've circled back around with like Breath of the Wild, Elden Ring, for example, Immortals, Phoenix Rising, games like that, where they design the world to specifically be fun for the mechanics. Like the realistic side doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's what the world gives to the player that makes it fun.
Yeah.
And like this, there's no intent behind the design to the world. It's just like, this is big and there's shit, Sonic jumps and whatever.
Yeah, the giant rails in the background, like as he's running around, is completely disorienting.
Yeah.
Super bizarre.
We were saying
JJ, what were you gonna say?
I said we were saying it when we were talking on Elden Ring, how absolutely nothing in that game felt like an accident.
Yeah.
Every time you went somewhere, everything you saw, every mountain, every cave, every every angle of the map felt like it was designed specifically to make it feel like it's that you're supposed to be there and there's something there and there's some. You can just look at this and just say it's just a flat terrain. It just exists there just for you to be able to move through, like to get to the next whatever. These enemy designs are terrible.
They're horrible.
Nothing seems like Sonic the Hedgehog in this outside of Sonic himself.
Where are my robot animals?
Yeah,
So that was what I was kind of getting into on the Discord, was that there is zero style to this game.
Style is the biggest thing.
The reason I loved I enjoyed, I won't say I loved, I enjoyed the original Sonic 1 and Sonic 2. JJ, I know you're a Sonic 2 fan. Was they worked so well within the limitations of the Genesis to make these games that looked. I'm going to hit the play button over here. To make these games that actually took advantage of 16-bit chunky
blast
processing. This and so that's why you had the the robot.
What's this cutscene they do whenever he's like, whatever?
There's no style. Again, there's my yard, by the way, with the weeds. There's no style to this game. I would have rather had them go into a very cel-shaded style from at least aesthetic standpoint, because who cares about these balls? There's nothing.
There's nothing.
Manage your own balls.
What they look like is some sort of weird deconstruction of that one Eggman boss where he has the balls that swirl around him and you're supposed to.
Yeah, but
there's a bird. There's a bird.
A bird.
You see a bird fly by for no reason. Yeah.
I don't know. I just like when I think about playing Sonic and getting to the end of the level and you release all the animals when you press the capsule, and every time you beat an enemy and an animal popped out, little simple shit,
So is he doing
it
that
just feels like it's gone. I don't know.
Doing that Mario 64 thing where you have to run around the eyeball in a circle to make it explode?
Yeah, it's from
I would say
colors, I think. Where you draw circles around you.
Traceability or something.
Yeah. I was gonna say it reminds me of kind of like Okami-ish when I did draw on the screen.
It's like
Okami's cool because you get to pause the game and draw. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a bad adoption of it. I'm just saying that it reminds me of it.
I'm gonna pause this game because that's not great to look at.
Even if you just think of Sonic Adventure is not a good game by anybody's metrics. It plays like shit. It looks like shit, but it has an aesthetic. It has a style to it.
It has soul.
It has it's been able to sort of stand the test of time against all odds because of just how sort of quirky it was in terms of its design and everything.
Here's how you fix this game. This is why I should be a video game consultant. You make the map smaller. You give it a cutesy aesthetic. You make it these little, kind of semi-open world, Halo Infinite
Monster
areas.
Hunter style.
Yeah, and Monster Hunter style would be great. You load into a world, hey, here's this thing, and then you could do hey, beat this level this fast. Hey, find this thing. You could do things like Monster Hunter has, where it'd be cool.
Similar size, but insane depth to it, right? You go this way, and only if you do this thing can you reach this area, and you approach it with that perspective.
That is just an extrapolation, a better way of doing what Sonic Adventure was doing, because it was open world. You go to a place, it takes you to another part of the map, but it's all the same world, and there's different things you can do on the map.
Like Mario 64, you just go into the same world, different things. This formula has been established for 30 years.
Established and nearly perfected already. And you're just you know what? Nah, fuck it.
I'm usually I know that Sonic games, especially when they're 3D Sonic games, are going to be bad, but I like to have a little bit of optimism once in a while, but I can't muster up a single ounce of optimism in the slightest for this. Nothing they have shown me in the slightest looks even decent.
Let's move on to the news for the last bit of gaming news that I have for the game that will be the highest selling game of the second half of the year, Pokémon Scarlet and Violet. Arriving November 18th. This will be the big seller on Switch and then everywhere else.
Released on PC, cowards.
They released it on PC, cowards. I think one of the interesting things, they're really kind of touting an open world. Speaking of open world, this is the style that Sonic should have when you kind of think about it. It should have this cartoonish visual style to it, kind of really pared down. But there they are. Oh, look at how hot
Stop
they're
playing.
hot.
The new professors. Yes,
What?
everybody
Yeah.
everybody
You've got-
thirst.
yeah,
Who you got? You got
the-
the daddy or the mommy? Which one you
you
got?
got the cave lady from Chrono Trigger, and
Yeah.
you've got Mr. Fantastic from the Fantastic Four. So those are your two
I mean,
choices.
listen, Cave Lady from Chrono Trigger has always been pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're this is the first time that I'm more interested in selecting my copy of Pokemon based on the professor than I am the actual character. What's interesting is that there's obviously a future and a past element to this because Sada is short for Posada, and Turo, which is the other professor, is Futuro, and there's a lot of like
Bro, this
past
game
and
looks
future.
so good. Oh my gosh.
I don't know if that's
I
sarcasm
hate
or what.
no.
If Zach is complimenting it, you know something's up.
No, like here's the thing.
For real though.
I'm an avid Pokemon hater, right? I love Pokemon, but I also hate it. This game, I'm excited. It looks good. Like I don't know what happened, but they did something, and it's
Well, they
exciting.
learned from
It looks
Arceus.
cute as
or
shit
Arceus,
too.
whatever.
Like everything that they
What?
show looks super
It
cute.
looks a lot of cool.
Well, here's the thing: is that
customization.
there had to
Yeah.
have been a ton of overlap between this
Yeah.
and Arceus.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Because like Arceus didn't come out that long ago. This looks pretty far along. There was probably almost more overlap than there was not
Right.
in development time.
The kid's got tie physics. Did you see? Like what the fuck? Like,
There's
what's
our
up?
guy.
Dude,
Yeah.
oh my god, the animations are still so bad.
I know.
The
Animations are
fighting
bad.
is so bad.
Purposefully-
Why?
Why do they? I don't know why they purposefully.
Hey,
make them
listen.
bad.
They
Oh.
took. I will take
fuck?
the same animations if I can get an aesthetically interesting and pleasurable looking Pokemon game. That's something that I'll take. I'll take bad animations if I can just
I
have something
guess.
fun to look at.
The battle
I
stuff.
guess.
I don't see the battle
So
stuff.
annoying.
I don't see the battle
is.
stuff ever getting better because I feel like Nintendo and Pokemon Company are just like, that's what Pokemon is. Like, they're in this zone now where they're just like, for better or worse, and it's worse.
Not actual game footage.
But-
It's
Imagine
worse.
One actually
But-
ends up
like,
looking
yeah.
like this one day. But 4-player co-op, which I think is really cool.
Yeah,
you can
that's
go
sick.
completely around.
Co-op against
your-
what?
Yeah.
4-player co-op, you can battle, you can trade, you can hunt Pokemon together
You're just
Um,
like in the same world together.
in the
hanging
same
out.
world
Okay.
together.
Just
which is cool.
making it a very light MMO kind of situation. It doesn't like it's not like it's particularly deep. It's just like hang out
Yeah.
with your friends
Just-
and do Pokemon.
Just play
stuff.
Pokemon Unite. What are you guys doing?
So how is the capturing of Pokemon work? Is it more like Arceus, or is it
No,
more
it's
like
back to the
Yeah.
previous one because like Taylor said, this is something that they were kind of doing in parallel with Arceus, and so you're finding a lot of those classic Pokemon styles in this in terms of how you capture. So you got to battle wild Pokemon to capture them, but you could definitely see like it looks good. They definitely have some style to it. They got you can.
The character models actually look good this time.
Character models at this time, yeah, they got a lot of customization, so they're definitely doing something. It's gonna sell like crazy.
I think the interesting thing, this is just interesting to me,
Power of science is
is-
amazing, isn't it?
the size of the Pokemon are realistic to what they would be like.
Much
Pokedex
more,
entries.
much
Sure.
more to scale.
Yeah.
The scale, yeah.
Like
So,
Pokedex entries.
and they're following you around, which is, hey, we've had before. We've always wanted it back, and they're like, hey, here, finally here. But yeah, I just
Stop
like
writing
that.
to us.
I just like the scale of it and the characters. Like they all look different, which is cool. They all have like a separate style. They like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just like it looks good.
It's-
I'm like this
Baby
is
steps. I mean, this is cool because this is the most. This Pokemon game looks like the most diverse from a character creator standpoint. I actually saw a lot of folks were posting when they saw this dude, when they saw her. Oop, come back here. Her out here. These are very different looking,
Yeah.
very diverse character creators. I think that's a
But
really cool thing
Yeah.
for
one of the
or
biggest
more
complaints.
so than before.
Yeah, one of the biggest complaints you get about these kinds of games is like, especially for people of color, is like the hair selections.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
looks like they're leaning into. Looks like they're actually giving you.
And this
more
guy right
appropriate-
here,
Yeah.
that
Well, you see how his hair like folded with the helmet, like his hair is
Yeah.
like puffing
Yeah.
out. Like
Yeah.
it's really, it's I just think it looks good. It looks like the actual first Switch Pokemon game, which is
Yes.
exciting. Like
Yeah.
it's
It does
taken
That's a good
real,
point.
yeah.
Yeah.
it's taken like 5 years, but it's here.
I was gonna say, the first real Switch game is fucking 2022, dog.
Yeah. I'm excited, and I'm usually a pessimist about these games. So take that with
It's
So
November
great
this
8th.
is
salt,
a
I guess,
trade
huh?
trade
That-
animation.
That is a cute trade animation. Just,
really
like,
is, yeah.
Sending them off. Yeah.
This is actually my first. It's actually my first time watching the trailer. I haven't. I just saw pictures and stuff, and I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna play this. Cool." But now watching this, I'm actually kind of impressed. Which is
They really
lot.
lean into the animation style
Yeah.
of Pokemon, and I think that's one of the reasons that they scale back a lot on stuff like animation, like the actual character frame animation and the amount of animations. Like they incrementally get better, but they're never going to be like, you don't want an Unreal Engine Pokemon because it's not going to look, even these cool renders, which maybe we'll get to one day, these wouldn't be animated with like crazy animation either. You're still going to
I
get
wouldn't want
janky
that.
animations. No, you don't want exactly that. That's not what Pokemon is.
Motorcycle
Um,
Dragon and Jet Dragon. It's great.
Yeah, baby.
I
Carbon
think these
fiber
legendary
dragon.
designs are the best we've had in a while.
I fucking love this.
This
legendary
is-
design.
This is the first time I legit am thinking I may get
We'll
both.
probably double pack,
I
yeah.
may
I-
get both.
I might be
because-
getting this.
Oh
I might
my
be getting
god,
this,
you guys are
yeah.
fucking degens. I cannot believe you.
But if you buy both, you get them in a collectible steelbook.
Yeah, baby.
Shut, JJ. So help me Christ.
But if I don't
Brother
get
in Christ.
I can't have a
My,
living
my
dead.
brother in Christ. It's
My
one
brother.
game.
No, it's
There we go.
not. It's two. Can you see
It's two
one's
games.
red, one's
They-
purple?
They have
Shut
different,
up.
They have different titles. The same game can't have two titles.
You're gonna drink me. You're gonna literally cause me to go become an alcoholic.
I'm just saying, it feels good for the joy of my childhood to be brought back. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
this is Pokemon. Like this
People
is
are
what
legit
I
excited
wanted.
about this. Legit excited about this.
So
Well, I mean, the good news is that the battle animation from Pokemon Red and Blue has been maintained for
Yeah, there you go.
13 years later. How many years? 23
25.
years later.
25.
Yeah.
25.
Yeah, not much has changed. Good news.
You're not gonna,
Hey,
you're not
don't
gonna spit
change-
in our
don't-
Cheerios, Taylor.
Yeah, right. Let's move on to stuff we've been playing because I'm gonna pass out
We're
otherwise.
48 minutes in, and we haven't talked about it. We've got
48
five
minutes.
people
It's
on
been-
the show.
Next week is gonna be. Next week things really build up because I keep
we got
updating
Summer
that
Games
list.
Fest next
We're going
next
to be
week.
live streaming Summer Game Fest, so join us for that one. That'll be our show for the week, the Summer Games Fest show. And then we got the Xbox stuff going on over the weekend. So the week after that we'll be covering the last of the game. But there's something happening almost every single day, from indies to big AAA stuff. But let's get into what we've been playing. Let's start with the person that we haven't seen in ages. And we miss you. We're so glad you're back. Zach, what have you been? No, just kidding. Sam, what have you been playing, my dude?
Well, I've been playing a whole bunch of stuff in and out. No, I'm lying. I've been only Genshin Impact for the past month or so.
my
since I've been off.
God.
2.7, baby.
I'm kidding. No, I've had some time off, so I've seen some friends and stuff, so I played some different stuff. But during that time, a lovely device showed up, the Steam Deck, and it is a wonderful device, but also a terrible piece of technology that is not ready for your average consumer. Yeah. Hey.
That's about right.
So who all has Steam Decks at this point?
I think it's just me and Dally along with
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
Are you guys planning on getting Steam Decks at any point?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'll get one
Are you?
maybe.
I was gonna say, are you in queue at this point, or no? Okay.
Hold on,
So
Sam.
Steam Deck,
Sam.
Steam Deck 2 users, I see.
You're asking if JJ is going to sacrifice an Optimus Prime and the Van Gogh Lego to pick up a Steam Deck, which it's impossible, right? Right, JJ? There's no way those are going to cut in line.
Well, basically, I mean, as I feel like everybody knows, this device is slowly getting better as time goes on, and I have different feelings on this device from week 1 to week 2 of owning it. And just
I would actually argue, Sam, that it's actually pretty quickly getting better.
Oh yeah.
Just as
I
like
guess slowly getting better,
is almost a misnomer, just because of how poorly it started.
I'm so glad I didn't have to experience how poorly it started, because I had stuff go poorly enough at whatever the like 3-month mark we're at for sales. Yeah, even an update last night fixed an issue I was having, which was any connected controllers just was not taking over control of my Steam Deck at any point. But also at one point I muted all of the audio on my Steam Deck everywhere. And I didn't know how to fix it. Figured out it was the echo noise thing got unclicked somehow.
What are you talking about?
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. And I thought myself, as somebody who has used Linux desktops and things like that in the past, like I was like, oh, it's probably not as much of a hassle as everybody's been making it out to be. No, it's a hassle. I think probably within the last 4 or 5 days is the first time that I've had it where I was like, okay, this thing is now properly set up that I can hand it to somebody and say, go nuts. And I feel like it won't explode while they're holding it.
It's so bizarre. Like, I feel like a crazy person when I talk to the two of you. And maybe it's just because I'm not using enough of a variety of games, but I just didn't have any issues.
That poor dog in the video.
Well, so there's things that have always worked instantly out of the box, right? So I have it's not Risk of Rain 2. I do have that. Rogue Legacy 2, sorry.
Yeah.
And when I, day one installed that to the deck, that was the first thing I did. And I was like, I'm going to play this just one run through to see how the controls feel and stuff. And of course, then I played it for 2 hours and it worked great. And I was like, oh, hell yeah. Steam Deck slams. This thing's going to be great. And then I started messing around with some other stuff, ran Phantom Pain on it. And it had no issues, unplugged, running on battery. And then I started trying to do weird stuff with it. So I tried to install other Linux games that weren't on Steam, like stuff from itch.io and stuff. Other stuff like that.
Dangerous game.
Then all of a sudden, I've learned that you want to launch them first and tell them hey, controllers sometime operate you, and then you can connect them with Steam and launch them in big picture, and it works. The audio thing, I still have no idea how that happened. I gotta think I wasn't paying attention and mashed an audio button somewhere, and then just luckily happened to find the right button after 45 minutes of looking through and testing things. But it's been an interesting time. It's really cool when it works. Playing your games that are runnable on that, it emulating, I guess, the sort of Windows stuff through that Linux layer, and then also running stuff like streaming your PS5 onto it, or streaming Xbox xCloud, or whatever the Ultimate Games Pass streaming thing is called now. It's nuts and it's fun. And now my ideal would be to be able to take it places, plug it into a TV, connect 4 Xbox controllers. And that's the dream. And I feel like it's not quite ready for me to take it there yet. And I've owned it for 2 weeks now.
Well,
So-
Valve has delayed the dock, by the way, so you don't have to worry about that happening anytime soon.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like I have, enough of those USB-C dongles around that have passed through power that I've connected it to TVs, but it doesn't work consistently enough yet. Like the
Yeah,
stuff
so-
isn't set
So
up
to
fully
go a
yet.
step further from Dally's point, I mentioned this in the Discord as well. Similar to how it looks like, yes, there was parts delays when the Steam Deck was delayed originally. Dally agreed, I think, especially because he got his even earlier than I did, which was that there was a huge, probably software reason why it was delayed.
Do you see
originally?
that we are currently in this little video that Dally just played? We're in the ads for this little.
Look at that.
Oh my god, yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Shit. That's kind of bizarre. And so I think that arguably a big reason, Dally, what are you doing?
I'm waiting for my game to load, a very light game on the Steam Deck to load. That's great on deck, but it's apparently not. Doesn't like to be loaded on the Steam Deck.
I was gonna say, do I have to load one on mine? Just to...
So my interest would be if this was a product that you could just go to like a GameStop and buy, right? And it was a Christmas release, right? And they had console numbers to be able to sell on store shelves to do that. Do you think this is the device that like you would be able to just like hand to somebody who isn't technical and be like, this is your console? And even let's say it came with a dock, right? This is your console. Yeah. Good luck.
So
we need to point you in the direction of the podcast where Dally first got the Steam Deck to answer that question.
I'm really curious if you never had a Steam account, right? And you start a Steam account brand new, and it's like it instantly recommends great on deck and stuff like that, and you stick to only those games. Is that a positive experience to you? You don't worry about connecting another Xbox controller. You don't want to go to Linux desktop mode, all that type of stuff.
So,
like, is this a device that's for that? And I don't think it has to be. I'm just curious if, like, I don't think it's there now. I wonder if that's even a goal, like, to get it to that point.
So what JJ is kind of alluding to, we've had this conversation a couple times, and I fully agree with you. I don't think it's there yet, and it's not because of the Steam Deck itself. Hardware wise, there's always going to be issues. I mean, my Switch I'm on like my second or third Switch or whatever. It's it's obviously on its last leg, but the OS is not great. Steam OS is not great on the Steam Deck because it doesn't. To me, it's not a very fresh user, first time user capable, like a self-explanatory device. Like you said you had issues with the audio. I've had issues with a bunch of stuff on the Steam Deck. I didn't know how to fix it because my mentality was, how would I do this on my stupid little Switch console or on my phone very easily? And it's not set up that way. It really is more like a PC that's slowly moving towards a portable OS. And I do think it'll get there. But I don't think it's quite there yet. Again, I'm very big on like UX and how someone gets into certain things. But I like if I handed this to my daughter or my wife, I don't think they'd be able to figure it out. But
and
if
it's Corey and see what Corey did with it.
But if I hand it to
Corey owns one.
I know, and he was like, "What the fuck is this?"
See,
it's coming from the. It's coming from the idea of this. This is what this is what a handheld console is, and then you get the Steam Deck, and it's like, whoa, that's not a game console. It's a PC, and it's hard to make that mental switch until you actually start getting into it. It took me a while. Now I treat this like a PC, and treating it like a PC makes me really feel like, okay, I got it. I know what I have to do. I have to go in. I have to fiddle with stuff. I have to go into Linux desktop to mess with things. Once I made that switch, I'm able to. It's smooth, much smoother sailing.
See, I think the Steam UI itself is actually pretty easy to use. Like being able to hit that left Steam button and basically like this is the hardware, or not the hardware. Like this is the sort of software settings, and then the three dots is where actually you get breakdown into more of the hardware stuff. That's where also you like your social and your notifications and stuff is. But like that's also where your activity monitor stuff is. That's where you're like being able to limit wattage and stuff, being able to see frame rates and stuff. I think like that stuff kind of becomes self-explanatory. I just don't think the UI has very many quality of life things.
Yes.
It always launches you to that. Like if you're not talking about the Linux desktop mode at all, it always launches you to that front page. And it's it's the what's new. It's like it's recommending you stuff from the store. It's giving you updates on the games you have. I think it does social posts too, but I don't think any of my like Steam friends do anything social on Steam. So nothing shows up there. But like after like there's nothing on that menu of value to me other than I guess maybe occasionally it could recommend an indie game or something I might be interested in checking out. I wish it would just launch directly to my library. But it doesn't do that, and there's no way to set that up. One of the struggles that I had,
homepage, by the way,
homepage, one of the it is like what it's like the last game you played and like some of the last stuff you played and recommended, right? Up at the top too there.
It starts with like recent games at the top, and then it's news, and then it's what your friends have been doing.
Yeah,
and then you can tab over to recommendations and stuff.
One of the problems I was having was any like Xbox generation doesn't matter controller that I tried to connect to the thing worked perfectly fine, no issues. I tried to connect an 8-bit to Xbox like Pro controller thing or like Switch Pro controller, completely just locked up the system. Wouldn't allow me like to start scrolling around, start doing like endless down inputs or whatever direction you touched first. I thought like it was just any connected controller for a while because I would connect like one or two and then it would always happen and was always that controller. Stop connecting it, never had that issue again. So it's just something about that specific controller drivers. So it's weird because I think if you're just
I had issues with this one. I had issues with this controller.
If you're just going to use it as a like handheld Steam Valve controller and the stuff that it recommends, I think that you could probably, just give it to somebody, make them make a brand new Steam account.
Yeah, I think so.
Get games, and it would be perfectly fine for them. I think the issues would be is when their buddy says like, "Oh man, I can give you every Super Nintendo game that's ever played, and we can put it on." And he goes, "Hell yeah, brother!" And then they load it up there. And it locks up for the first time and they're jamming on that Steam button and nothing's happening. Like, what is their reaction?
It's just like also about listen, we're gonna play Mario Kart 2-player over the internet through Hamachi. We're just gonna get this going real quick.
Right, like the average user, like even I would love to know just in terms of those that have Steam Decks right now, like how many of them have even bothered trying to do like Steam Link remote play. Or trying to do like the xCloud thing, or are there people that are primarily just using it for that so far?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see that. Yeah, what's the breakdown of the actual usage for the device?
There was a post the other day about the top 10 games on Steam Deck. Hold on, while I pull it up.
Well, and I'll also jump into if you are a more technical user. There is some weird hurdles to get over, like the first time that like you're using a mouse, but not a keyboard, and you click on a text field and nothing happens, and you're like,
I've had those issues. Yeah,
what is this? And you're like, okay, all right, well, I'm going to Google on another phone because that does have a text field, and you find out that it's like, oh, if you hold the Steam button and press X, an on-screen keyboard comes up. It's like, why wouldn't that just be an automatic thing if I'm typing, I'm clicking into a text field? Or like
that part is definitely like I think overall that's the clunkiest part of the whole thing is the fact that there is no text field automatic recognition.
Are they afraid it's going to get in the way of something, or do you think it's just an oversight? What the fuck is like?
I think that it's just hard to do. I think it's just hard to do.
Everything gets in its way.
Yeah, true.
Especially if you're trying to use that screen. But hey, I will say that using that right touchpad as a mouse is actually very nice.
It feels good. It actually like does
I've
not
had
feel
issues with
weird.
mine, but I yes, I like it, but I have issues with mine. I think from a build standpoint, I've noted them. Yeah.
My only problem so far with like the feel of the controller is I don't like the bumpers. They are R1 and L1 are at a weird spot. You
Same.
can't just like
I mentioned the
rotate
same
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. I'm not a fan of where the actual Steam home button is located because it's too flush to the surface. I would have rather had like some 3D depth to it so that I can feel where it is down there because it just kind of feels like a little channel in the surface. You can miss both these bottom buttons fairly quickly and run into the speakers if you don't look down. But again, I don't know how much of that is the build quality of the device or just a design aspect of it. I think they're the Steam Deck 2, they're going to learn a lot from. They're going to realize they got to put this USB-C on the bottom to make the dock a lot easier to maintain because I don't want to have this sitting in the dock and have a cord popped out. And these are things that that you learn as a hardware console manufacturer that Steam hasn't done a real console device like this before, and they're getting a lot of user feedback from guys like Taylor and I and you and Corey as they watch our usage because obviously Gabe is he's spying on us. Hi Gabe.
Each person individually.
So yeah.
But before we move on, Sam, I just want to say that you can hold the Steam button, and it will pop up a list of all of the shortcuts that are available.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? There was.
I know it's one of those things where it shouldn't even be necessary, but since we're talking about it, I wanted to mention it.
Well, if you when you open the packaging, it would be nice if it said that, and I don't think it does.
I agree.
But it does tell you
I never knew that's how you take a quick screenshot. Was to hold the Steam button and hit R1.
Yeah,
they
never fucking knew that.
Yeah. See that? And that's why I mentioned it. Is you hold the Steam button, it shows you all the shortcuts.
Yeah.
But anyway, other than that, based on playtime over the last month, this is with that same video about a few more things out of the Steam Deck, which I think Valve put out June 2nd. So top is Aperture Desk Job, followed by Elden Ring, Hades, No Man's Sky, Rogue Legacy 2, Slay the Spire, Stardew Valley, Binding of Isaac Rebirth, Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, and then Vampire Survivors. So, quick note is that all of those games are verified to play on deck, which some people have put out is not as reliable as they would like, which is completely understandable. I have personally played like 8 out of 10 of those games and have had no problems with them personally. But yeah, I mean, that seems to be kind of right up there with the kind of games that, which is weird because like it's a mix of really top AAA and really indie games, and kind of makes sense for what I would expect to see being played on Steam Deck. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that real quick before we moved anywhere else. Sam, I don't know if you had anything else to
no,
final words.
To me, it is the Death Stranding of hardware right now.
That's a kick-ass. I love that.
It's a great experience, and for the right person, definitely worth playing. But would I recommend it to somebody? Absolutely not.
I would recommend it to many people.
I'd recommend it to certain people.
Listen, I was going to say, I would recommend it to everybody in like this group, right? The guy who I work with who like plays Madden and FIFA and like talked to me about Elden Ring and then tried it. No.
Right.
Like, he doesn't need a Steam Deck, even if he had like fuck you money. Like just buy a nice TV for your Xbox, right? But for me who loves setting up emulators to be like, I can't wait to play Minish Cap again for the first time since I borrowed my buddy's Game Boy Advance for a weekend when I was like 12. I know the beginning of Minish Cap so well, guys, because I've set it up on like 16 devices and it runs
Such a
great
great
on
game.
all of them. And I can't
I
wait
beat
to do the
I beat
same
Minish Cap. Oh,
for for that console, and it'll be bad. Have I played Star Fox on it? Last question. The answer is yes, absolutely, and it's perfectly fine. I still think playing on the N64 might be the best way to play that. So.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's a crazy thought.
Okay.
Still fun. Steam Deck. Rent, don't buy.
It's funny because like I was
Go to
very
your
harsh.
local Blockbuster and
Go to
rent
your-
a console like the old
Find
days.
Get it
your
from Redbox.
local side questing employee and ask him to show.
Get it from Redbox.
Can I see your deck? And you go,
I
hell
mean,
yeah, hell
that's
yeah,
what-
dog.
That's what PAX. That's what PAX East was for me. Like, your
It
guy
really
can
was.
at least just.
No, I mean I was harsh on the Steam Deck at first because I was coming at it from a console mentality and a handheld mentality, and realizing
And we
after
fucking ripped into
you guys
for
ripped
that.
yeah, no, but realizing after usage that I had to go with left brain, right brain. I had to think about it differently. I had to go at this as a PC first, and then the handheld side of it. And then since then, I've like really turned to enjoy this device. For I can finally play PC games while I'm watching TV, which is something I've always wanted to do. I don't want to stream them to my phone. I'd rather play games on my Steam Deck, games that I'm pick up 1,000 of them on Humble for no reason. My Humble bundles are finally showing up somewhere. Finally, games for my Steam Deck.
I mean,
But
sort of
it's cool for
why.
me. It's
That's
perfect.
sort of the reason why I haven't like jumped on the Steam Deck, because to me it really is just a toy. It has no real practical use
Sure.
for me, because I have a really good gaming laptop that I just it's easy to carry around with me, and I get what I want out of it. I can play Elden Ring downstairs or at work or whatever with this thing. So I don't. To me, the Steam Deck is just a toy, and that's all I'm getting it for, is just a thing
Sure.
to tinker and play with. So
Anything else you've been playing there? The old Sam?
I mean, not really to any extent, other than of
Genshin.
course Genshin
Genshin
Impact.
Impact. Yeah.
Still grinding out Forza. I'm like maybe like 20 cars shy of owning them all in that game at this point. Still trying to get into Gran Turismo a little bit. Didn't have much time to play it. Can actually kind of sit
Interesting.
into it this weekend and grind that out. And then, Mario Strikers Game of the Year is coming out next week. So
True. Have you played the demo?
actually, I downloaded it and missed the opportunity to, right? I think it's over.
No, it starts today.
no, it's
Oh.
all
Starts today.
weekend. It's
all
weekend.
weekend this
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah.
Whew, then yeah, can't wait. I'll see you guys. Catch
See ya,
me on the
peace.
grass.
Catch me on the grid.
The pitch.
Oh man,
Thank you
catch
very
me on the
much.
Love it.
pitch.
There you go.
Catch me on the pitch. Let's move on to Taylor, because the other three of us have some review or whatever things to talk about. Let's go to Taylor.
Don't say it, Taylor. I know what you're gonna say.
Final
What
Fantasy
was I gonna
14.
say?
I know what you're gonna say. Just say,
Say
it.
it.
Though.
Tell me.
No, you.
Say it.
The vast majority of my time was actually Talos Principle. That was,
That's not what I expected you to say.
yeah, I didn't think so.
I like Talos Principle.
Yeah, so that went on sale. I was talking about how I've been playing The Witness on Steam
And then I
Deck,
said,
and then Zach was like, "Why are you playing that dog shit when you could be playing Talos Principle?" So what I actually really, having played quite a bit of both, is I wish that the presentation of The Witness could be given to me with the content of Talos Principle, because Witness is good and I like looking at it and I like being in the world of The Witness, and Talos Principle gives me the futuristic AI dystopian kind of like post annihilation future that I'm interested in. And so the two of them together would be really sick. But the puzzles of Talos Principle are a little bit less frustrating. compared to The Witness, which sometimes get like esoteric for no reason, where it's just like,
It's like
by the way,
this.
yeah, it's like, oh, you're hard. We're hard now. There's no particular reason to it. It's just harder than it was before because you either can't see it or because it's like to the side. Anyway, I like them both. They both have good qualities to it. And then Zach convinced me to play a ship teardown game.
You started playing that?
Yeah, I played that. I played that for 2 hours.
Is it that hard? What hard space?
Hard space.
That
Hard
game-
space, yeah.
That game's fucking cool.
It's like yo, what if you want to be a blue collar worker in space and you're just gonna laser cut up some ships and make sure they go where they need to be so that you can pay back your $1.25 billion debt by giving up your original human body so that you can be reborn
As one
every time
does.
you die in the line of duty.
It's
Normal
cool.
stuff.
almost that.
Cool.
Last thing, real quick.
Here it is.
I was playing Diablo Immortal.
Hey,
Same.
my man.
Yeah, so it launched on Wednesday mobile first, and then it launched on PC yesterday. So I've been putting in a little bit of time.
Is it on Steam Deck?
It is not working on Steam Deck yet.
Okay.
You can get. I've got it. I installed it, and you can launch it, but the controller doesn't work.
Okay.
Which might be for the best because, to be honest, on PC, the controller, anything on PC is kind of dog doo-doo, to be quite honest. Like, I have a Razer Kishi, which is basically a twin stick analog with AXYB buttons
Sure.
for a phone, and it works great. You would think that playing on a controller on a PC would be like, okay, it's the exact same shit, right? Nope, you'd be wrong. It's bad. Why? Who knows? It's ported. It's a mobile first game ported to PC. The up-res options are again dog to do. It looks like it caps at 1080p. Up-res, it's middling in its quality, but it's good enough. It plays all right. It's fun. It's a pseudo MMO style. It is you hit the first gap where you play through the whole thing and you're like, okay, this is going at a pretty good clip, and then you hit level 30. And then you hit level 31 and you're like, okay, we're still good. Wow, surprise. And then it's like you finish that story quest. Okay, but now you can't continue the story quest until you hit level 33. So go and do stuff. And then you hit level 33. You do some more story stuff. Okay, well, now you can't continue until you're level 35. And then that gap continues to just grow a little bit every time you complete bits of story. So I'm like level 50. I think the cap is 60.
It is.
And, I think I stopped at, or I think the last time I did a story quest was level 46. And now I have to be at 51 until I continue. So, it's not necessarily bad because there's still plenty of stuff to do.
Shit ton
But
of stuff to do.
it does reveal itself to be, kind of that mobile game style of there's less things to keep you involved. It's like, okay, time to learn to do the side stuff because you're going to be doing a lot of it when the time comes.
No, so I feel like, in Avengers, when Doctor Strange is like, I saw a million realities and there's only one, where we like one. This is that one reality where, like, hey, this isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It's a decent game. Like, it's decent enough, and they can add to it, and it's going to be good. Like, it's not like it's like a horribly pay to win game. It's pretty standard. Like, it's good. Like, it's fun. Like, I picked it up and played it on my lunch break because I was bored. Like, cool. Like, it feels good. It plays like Diablo. Like, it's
it's like, oh, I got 5 minutes. Okay, time to hop in a Rift. Like, no problem. You go do a rift, and you earn a little bit of experience. You earn a little bit of the currency that you can use to turn in for runes and the other 18 different currencies that are in this game. But it looks and it plays good, like especially on mobile. Like,
it plays amazing on mobile. Like,
it's a crazy good mobile game more than anything else. Like
yeah.
on mobile, it's an insane quality of.
I have
of
it downloaded.
game,
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
to be quite honest.
Yeah, no, I would love to shit on it, but I just really can't. Like, it's actually like, hey, good job, guys.
So have you already ordered your Diablo health potion G Fuel?
Mhm.
There you go.
I got the collector's edition battle pass. I paid for the $30 chest with the legendary items. Like, no, like whatever. But
Honestly,
I mean,
if they can execute something like this and strip away, it is the kind of thing you're like, oh, we've been learning it from the past Diablo games on how to keep this going, because it does feel very good from a ground floor level.
yeah, it's like they take all the good things from Lost Ark and they just kind of put it in here. Like, hey, it's Diablo MMO. That's what everyone's always wanted, and it's
Is
here.
what it is. Zach, what have you been playing, dude?
Okay. We've already talked about all the games I've been playing, so I need to talk about my review game, which is
I like that Taylor immediately.
Yeah, no, I gotta.
okay. Let me share my screen. This one. Share. Okay.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Here is okay, so I've been playing this wonderful game called. Let me look it up on Steam. Hatsune Miku Project Diva.
Yeah!
This game is fantastic. I am a huge rhythm game fan. I play rhythm games at least once or twice a week. I just love like hammering out a map song and figuring out the ways to make it, succeed. Like, oh, I want to get 100, or oh, I want to land all the cools and the nices instead of a miss. Like that initial repeat of playing a rhythm game is really interesting to me. And I've always wanted to play this Hatsune Miku game, but it's always been on like the PlayStation or on a Switch, not in a place where I feel like it's appropriate. This is the perfect version of that game because it runs well. Everything feels snappy. Everything looks good. It has like arcade timing, as I like to call it. Like a lot of rhythm games have bigger timing gaps to where it's easier to land things. This has that arcade timing where they expect you to be on point, and if you're like one millisecond off, it's a failure. Like it's great. So it's like, and it feels good to be playing it on a very powerful PC where there's no lag. I'm going crazy. I love it. But yeah, so it's a Hatsune Miku game. Hatsune Miku, she's from Japan. And you might consider her a VTuber, maybe the first. Who knows? But this is her. If you've seen her, she has blue hair. She's very pretty. She watches
our show.
Yeah,
she watches our show.
Did you do blind searches of these? I hope you checked these.
I did. I searched and I
safe search is on. Don't worry.
Yeah. So she is a very beautiful girl with blue hair. She's not real. She is in the virtual world.
Which
she also makes a lot of money.
She's toured with Lady Gaga.
So yeah, Vocaloids are these like anime people that sing songs, and the way they sing songs are through these vocoder things where people are able to put lyrics inside a song, make her go beep 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 beep. It sounds really cool. So this is her rhythm game. It looks pretty cool. Sega was kind enough to give me a code with all of the DLC and all of the outfits. The first time when I launched the game, it gave me achievements for unlocking all the outfits. Thank you. It's great. She's also a part of
Yeah.
Domino's Pizza.
Oh, that's right. I
As you
forgot
may
about.
know.
I
She
forgot about the
sponsored the race
Domino's
car
ad.
too.
She is even in her own anime called Black Rock Shooter, which is an offshoot of the Vocaloid fandom. You might want to check it out. It's pretty cool. One of the best songs in the game. There's also over 245 songs, 42. I think half of those songs also have multiple tracks because there's multiple characters in this game, so you can play as Kamina Rin and her twin, or there's like 5 other characters. One's a dude, I think his name's Tsubaki. They all have these different tracks, so you can play the same song with a different vocal chart if you want to, which is really cool. Yeah, so this is kind of how the game looks. There's these shapes flying at you, and you gotta make sure you press the right shapes. And it on paper it looks simple, but it's actually really hard. Like I streamed it once, and Taylor watched me play it, and it was just like, yeah, it was an event.
It was like watching my child grow up as he played over the course of many hours, and it's like watching a young child not be able to put the circle in the circle, and then slowly they just figure it out.
Oh shit! They
Slowly
actually
started going
sell this
crazy.
thing. They actually sell the controller for the Switch.
Yeah.
I had no fucking idea.
That does not surprise me whatsoever.
It is. I think I have the eBay link. Yeah, here it's $100
Hell
on
yeah.
eBay. JJ.
Okay, well,
JJ's buying it. JJ's buying it mid-show.
You can
He
follow
already
her
has
on Twitter.
let's
They
see.
also have I think there's also one that's like $400. That's really cool. But yeah, this is the controller. Hey, it's pretty cool. If
I
you
do
could
like
get one,
I like the double input ones though.
Yeah.
yeah, the double input ones are pretty sick because there's a lot of times where there's a bunch of parts on the game and you gotta double mash. The good controller to play this game with is the PS4 controller. Bad controller is this controller, or this controller. These are not good for the game. I just bought an 8-bit DO controller for it just so I could play. It's also not wireless, which is pretty important.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited when that comes in to hammer out some more maps and tracks. I probably played 50 songs and I've put like 10 hours in. So yeah, it's just really good. It's a good rhythm game. I wouldn't recommend it to people who haven't played rhythm games before because it's just really hard. It's not a forgiving game.
The Miku stuff has always been sort of on the higher end of. It's not like Groove Coaster or something.
No, it's not like Groove Coaster or DJ Max. DJ Max are both pretty easy games, pretty like grooving. Like I cannot play TJ Max for a couple months and go back and 100% a song easy. But with this game, it's like I gotta be on my game. I mess up once, I'm fucked. Like I mess up my rhythm, everything's done. I want to kill myself. Like that's just how this game makes me feel. But I love it.
Hatsune Miku is like it's like that expensive like $60 bottle of wine at the grocery store that you get, but it's not that $3 $3 chuck that you find sometimes. It's that $60.
Right. It is. But yeah, it's really good. Thank you, Sega, for giving me that deluxe code. Like, hey, $60 if you like. Come on, I get all
Sonic Frontiers is great.
Yeah,
I love Sonic. There's actually a Sonic outfit in this game, which is really fun. I switched to the Sonic outfit, and she was dancing around. There's like 200 and like for each. So she has a specific outfit for each song, by the way. So all 250 songs have 250 individual outfits, not 250 individual, but hey, yeah. So she has a lot of outfits. You can dress her up. You can mix and match. All the characters have outfits too. You can dress them up, have fun. It's always fun to dress her up because she's cute, and I like to see her dance because she's funny. That's Hatsune Miku. I definitely would recommend it, and definitely gonna be on my top 5 of the year. It's one of those. It's
I'm interested to see how it would play on Steam Deck.
Very cool, dude. Excellent.
Yep.
Well,
Hatsune Miku Domino's Pizza.
2.
Do you know Hatsune Miku?
Moving on to JJ.
Oh yeah. Yes, it is. Yeah. We need you to go back in time. It is time to look at 1999 to where we're at in the world. 1999 brought us lots of things. The Sixth Sense. Everyone learned to see dead people in 1999. A fantastic, wonderful movie. But more importantly, one character in film taught us to love again, and that was, of course, Yaddle from The Phantom Menace. 1999 also brought us SpongeBob SquarePants, surprisingly enough. Yeah. Regis Philbin's Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was just tearing up television. So are The Sopranos. They debuted in 1999. Napster, King of the World in 1999.
Yeah,
Do you remember Napster? Do you know what?
Still use it. I'm just kidding.
with Napster at your fingertips.
That's it. You're under arrest.
At your fingertips, Napster was able to bring you one of the absolute hottest songs of 1999, and that's All Star by Smash Mouth. But also Britney Spears was making a lot of teenage boys very, very curious in 1999 as well. And one of the greatest video games of all time came out in 1999. Not Sonic Adventure, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Better than Final Fantasy VIII, I would even say, which also came out in 1999.
Ooh, fighting words.
Fighting words.
No, that's true.
But also in Japan, Pokemon Gold and Silver came out. So this is where we're at in 1999 in terms of sort of handheld RPGs. Pokemon Gold and Silver launched in Japan, which was the sequel to Pokemon. You got all your types of, expand your monsters. You go in, you battle with your friends. And so what does Neo Geo do? Neo Geo decides they're going to release Biomotor Unitron.
Woo!
Let me tell you. So I got this code because I'm the Neo Geo Pocket Color guy. I've done every single one of these games. And
that's actually on your birth certificate.
Yeah. It's actually by law. My middle name is NGPC. You can get rid. Yeah, it's true. You can get rid of this. This is the end of the slideshow. I just wanted to make fun of 1999 for a little bit. Biomotor Unitron is a real piss poor attempt at cashing in on RPGs of 1999. We were in such a good place in 1999 in terms of handheld games, especially with limitations. And this one, like the Neo Geo Pocket Color, was doing a good job at the time of taking these giant ideas, fighting games, even Sonic the Hedgehog. There's some wrestling stuff that and compressing them down into a Game Boy Color style device and making them work very well. The fighting games, while simple, worked really well. They felt like fighting games. Biomotor Unitron tries to do this weird Pokemon thing while not being Pokemon. And I don't know. Yeah. It looks bad. The character designs are just like bad. It's basically got two things that you're going for in it. It's got yeah.
This looks like a Digimon, like the third transformation.
Yeah.
Everything. Get jeans on.
Yeah. So this game basically has sort of three things going for it. You have it sucks, man. You have the overworld where you're sort of interacting with the people in the town and everything. You have like that was the hub world. The overworld where you're wandering to these towers and you're just sort of fighting your way through the towers. There is no real end game to the towers except fighting the boss at the end. And they're all like kind of elemental and stuff. So you get there and you're getting parts for your
McDonald's robot.
Yeah, you're getting parts for your robot to like change the robot like they're like they're toys basically.
Metabots.
Yeah, that's exactly Metabots. And then after that, there's this sort of arena where you just take your robot and fight through a stage of an arena. And that's the extent of the game. It is easy. I felt absolutely no challenge at any moment. during this game. Like you're just kind of working your way up. If every stage, if every sector of Pokemon was just like the tower that the dead Pokemon tower, like or like the caves, like everything's this. You're just getting in random battles against random robots, getting parts, beating a bigger robot, and then going back to town, going into the arena, and beating the arena challengers. You don't like win. There's no big ending. There's no anything. It's just it exists. It's designed to be a fighting game in some way. Although good luck finding a single one of your friends with another Neo Geo Pocket Color, especially in 1999. And every creature looks just miserable. There's no good design in any of this. Like, they're not even ripping off, like, Gundams or anything. Like, it would be super fun if they were ripping off other robots.
They look like the robots from, like, was it Base Wars?
Yeah, kinda, yeah. Or they look like some sort of, like, early 90s, like, Food Wars toy line or everything, where everything's just kind of generic and brightly colored, and everything's kind of, yeah.
It reminds me of that one Pokemon in Sword and Shield that's like the random mishmash of fossils that like don't really cohesively go together. That's what that is.
Yeah, it's an ugly game. It's not fun. It's too easy. It's barely an RPG. They want to call it an RPG, and yes, there's levels and it's turn based. Like, I guess it's an RPG, but it's this
a
is
little shallow, is what you're saying?
It's super shallow. This is the worst of everything that I have gotten from this Neo Geo Pocket Color collection.
And you've been pretty optimistic with each of those Neo Geo Pocket games.
Yeah, because they all sort of represent the people making something interesting on limited hardware. Like I said, taking fighting games, taking a fighting game and turning it into a card game. Taking like there's like Digimon stuff on there, not Digimon, like digital pet stuff on there too. That's kind of interesting.
Digimon,
yeah, just like Digimon, just as the Digimons are, and like golf, like sports games and stuff, and good like ports of like Sonic the Hedgehog 2, like I said earlier. It's a really good version of a handheld version of a Sonic game that's completely unique while kind of maintaining the aesthetic and gameplay of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which is a pretty impressive thing for, like I said, a Game Boy Color effectively in 1999. This is just nothing. It's and there was a sequel. There's a sequel to this game that never came out in America because SNK went belly up by the time that sequel came out, but I just could never recommend this game. It doesn't have anything to bring you back. It's easy to beat. You can beat it in like 1.5 sittings.
Oh wow.
Okay. It's just not long. It's not hard. There's no difficulty. You build a decent enough robot and you don't have to change a thing. Like you could just grind through, because it's not like Pokemon. It's not like you're getting different robots. You're just building onto your robot to make the perfect robot for yourself that you like. And it's just it feels so shallow and empty, and it lacks a lot of personality. There's a lot of characters in it, but none of them feel interesting or like fun to talk to. It just all feels like it's just part of the grind, which is never how you want your NPCs to be in your games. So yeah, bad game.
Excellent bad game. No,
just
bad in general.
Bad game. Don't buy it. I'm never gonna get one of these reviews.
No. You have a bunch of review games, so I'm sure next. I mean, I think we're gonna do like one a week or something.
Luckily, the next two are one's half positive and one's very positive. So
okay,
I won't tell you which one.
Tune in next time. I have been playing a game. I call it part of our friends of the show aspect. So I put a call out on Twitter, on the social medias, where I said, hey, if you're an indie dev, shoot us a line. We'd love to check out your games. I got some good responses, good replies. I got a couple of Steam codes. I gave one to Taylor. We'll talk about that next time. We just got that today. And then I got
the game that's on my Steam wish list that I want to play.
Sorry. And then I got
I'll tell you all about it.
Yeah. I got contacted by a one-person dev team by I believe the dev on Twitter, at least. Their name is Juicy Chicken Dev. And they're working on a project. I'm here the screen right now. That you could play this in itch. It's called Omega Versus Vanguards. So you go to juicychicken.itch.io/Omega Versus Vanguards. I was actually playing it on the Steam Deck a moment ago.
An auto battler.
It's essentially auto chess. So what's interesting is that there's my previous team.
Yeah.
The developer has been working on this for 6 months and doesn't know if they're going to complete the game or not. They're just kind of taking some feedback. So they're just kind of throwing this out there for some feedback and get some understanding to see if it's something that they really want to go forward with. I have never really jumped into auto battlers before. And I'm this isn't like like auto chess, obviously. This is one person over 6 months putting it together. It's surprisingly addicting and competent. It's free to play. Go ahead. Go to, again, Itch, Juicy Chicken over on Itch. But essentially, it starts off with you make your selection. You get this sort of shop. So I got 10 gold coins here. I got 3 hearts to work from. So you get these 3 hearts. You can't see it there, but they're probably here. 3 hearts. You lose all your hearts. You're done playing the game. You start over. You got to get 10 wins out of and before you lose your game. So I purposefully sacrificed my first match. The way it starts off is Esther is typically the very first person you'll face off against. These are teams created by other players, which is kind of a neat idea. So my team, I'm sure, has taken on some other folks. You can register your name. Right now I'm guest 8EAA, blah blah blah. You can register and get going that way. Support them, which I think I might definitely do that. But Esther is sort of like the first team you start off with. So they got a sort of a sword guy and a sword goblin and a ranging person. So I could do this, but I can also upgrade the shop. What upgrading the shop does, you click on it, it says shop upgraded, +1 population, +1 choice. But what that does also is you lose coins. You only have 10 to work with. You can re-roll, and you get different characters. And the more you progress, the more powerful the characters become. You get the 1s and the 2s here, and then 3 is the amount of coins it costs. Very simple. That's essentially it. Create my character here, go back to the map. I can say, all right, I'm going to kind of arrange this person here. I'm going to get slaughtered. I'm okay. The left side is my side. The right side is my enemy's side. I do wish that there was just a go ahead and, hit the play button here, but you have to go into the shop. Go ahead, battle. Watch me get whipped really quickly here. But very simple kind of gameplay loop.
I like the look of these, like the characters.
So do I.
It's very cute. It's very good.
Again, it's a one-person team.
Online.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I'm doing this well. Oh my gosh, I almost won. That's kind of cool. There you go. 1 heart.
Yeah,
lost.
real hearts. Yeah.
Real hearts, baby. But because I leveled up and sacrificed, I can now put up to 3 characters, and I can upgrade again. Tap that, and I can put up to 4 characters. So I only have 8 coins, which means I can get 2 more characters out here because they're worth 3. So let's put the level 1 bringer, mercenary, and the blade master. And they each have their own little aspects. So like the blade master, every level they gain more move speed, they can attack better, and whatever. You want to take out these slimes because the slimes explode, but I'm gonna focus on this guy here first. There we go. Let's see how this goes. Start battle. Very simple. These things on the side here just kind of tell you levels they're at, who you have on the page or on the screen at one time. Oh, I'm getting there. Will I win? I think I might. And There we go. This is the enemy, who the other player I'm up against has. And that's it. I got my first trophy. Seems easy, but I've only ever made it to and guessed again. It's somebody else who has been playing the game. I've only ever made it like four trophies, but it's just kind of fun. I love the sprites. I love the design of it. These little modifiers. So here's a consumable, increases the crit chance. I can do that. I'm gonna go ahead and upgrade. The upgrade cost changes between rounds, depending on how you do. I have 6 coins, and I can get 2 more characters. So let's get the Succubus. It's a brawler. Let's do that, and let's get the Blade Master. We'll put him there. Let's go back to the map. Everyone's down here, so we will legit go this way, and then I'll put this guy back here.
Let's fucking bum rush him.
Just bum rush him. Let's see how we do. Sorry, I'm clearing my throat a lot. I'm just kind of recovering still. But, oh no, I did not do a good enough job, and I'm crushed. There we go. Bam. Will I survive? Oh, no, I survived. All right, cool. No, I lost.
You lost, man.
How did I lose? That's it. That's the game. That's the whole loop of the game. Very simple, neat idea.
These portal effects are good. I like
Love it's yeah, nice and fluid. Just a cool little fun little game. Omega versus Vanguards. Kudos to Juicy Chicken for doing this on their own. Yeah, you can surrender if you want to surrender, and that's it. It's free. And again, I loaded it up on Chrome on my Steam Deck and was playing there. So definitely something to check out. I'm gonna surrender.
The game on Steam Deck?
I finally have a game for my Steam Deck.
Incredible.
Game over. Obviously, yeah, 1-person team. They're working on some stuff, and then you get your trophy put in here and you get something. I don't know what that is. 3 points. That's it. Good stuff. Check them out. Friend of the show, Juicy Chicken. And with that, I think that's it.
It better
we
be.
made it.
It's almost an hour and 46 minutes.
We're back to Taylor time. Back to Taylor. No, it's worth it.
Well, I was gonna say, did I really do that much?
No.
I don't think so.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. It was the news at the beginning, but
It was the news.
We
It
talked
was.
about
Steam
Sonic
Deck.
the Hedgehog for way too long.
Yeah, we did. I think.
We had to catch Sam up.
Have to explain the deep intricacies of the Final Fantasy franchise. Too.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That too, yeah.
important stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm done.
Again,
But I'm done now.
I'm done. I'm cooked. It's gonna be a very busy week coming up here. I'm sure you'll be tuning into side questing as we relay all of the news. Again, join us on Thursday for the live viewing spectacular that is the JJ says don't because he has to work.
I'm not taking
Same.
the day off because Jeff's wins
I am.
Thursday.
Taylor and I are.
Zach.
And I'm gonna be day drinking, baby.
Oh.
Zach, take the day.
I would rather work than watch Jeff's game mess, to be honest.
Burn. He didn't invite us to his press thing over there.
No socks for you, Dally.
No socks for me. With that said, we'll see you in the next episode of the Side Quest. At Taylor Bliss, at the Double J, at OK Quest, in the Discord once in a long while, and at Dolly Domofsky, at SideQuesting, SideQuesting TV on Twitch, SideQuesting on YouTube, SideQuesting.com. Rate and review, all that kind. It really does help if you give us 5 stars on your favorite podcasting app. Please do that.
On Napster.
Unless it's 10 out of 10, then give us 10 stars. That would help.
What if it's 100?
Then give
Then
us
we're,
10.
then we're a
100 stars.
solid 7. We're a solid 7.5.
Yeah.
We'll see y'all in the next episode of The Side Quest.